Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Mother Love Show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, my cyber babies. Welcome to another fantabulous day in Talk Radio. I am your host, Mother Love, coming to you live and in living color, Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock until 3:50 Pacific Standard Time. And if you're busy with your hands in the middle of the afternoon and you can't listen to us live because you got places to go, people to see, things to do, your hands are full of stuff in the middle of the afternoon, let your hands be full of some stuff for Mother Love. You can just go to latalkradio.com, click on the Mother Love Show on Channel 1, and we are there for your listening pleasure, to inspire you, to help you be aspirated, inspired, motivated, all of that stuff. All that. Remember to like me on Facebook. Every time I try to do that fancy, I jack it up. Remember to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter at Mother Love Show, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because you never know who's going to be on my YouTube channel. Like the two handsome fellas, I got hunks of gumptious in the studio with me. I can say that when you get to be my age, you can say stuff like that, you know, and I can be sexually harassed, just so you know. At my age, I want to be called honey, baby, darling, somebody. In studio with me is the very talented Mr. Richard Halpern. He is known as Mr. Tin Pan Alley. He's bringing back to packed audiences the spectacular Hollywood Cavalcade Show, classic Hollywood from the 20s and the 30s, which I don't know. We got to find out how he even got into that. Also in studio with us is the impresario of the Cicada Club, Mr. Maxwell Demille, Master of Ceremonies. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having us, Mother Love.
Oh, absolutely. I got babies in here. Now, first, Richard, tell us about you. You know what? I mean, where did your love for the music from the 20s and 30s? You weren't even there.
And I know most of the people that have come to the club weren't there.
Okay.
It's all brand new generations of fans of the music. I got into it sort of in college, my college age, right after college.
Now, where'd you go to college?
I was at Long Beach State, but before then I was at Harbor College in Wilmington, down here near San Pedro.
Because you're a native Californian.
I'm a native New Yorker, but since I've been here since I was 11, that turns me into a native Californian.
Listen, I'm a native Californian, and I've been here 25 years, so I know you're a native Californian. You know, I get pissed off when people come to California trying to dog us out here in Southern California. You don't like it, get out.
I love it. I love it.
If you don't like California, take your narrow behind back to wherever you came from. You don't like America, you can leave. We can make space for you, baby. You can just move along. We don't need all that craziness. So now, here you are in California, living in crazy. I love this town. I fit in so well. It's crazy town. Where did your love for the music from the 20s and 30s come from?
Well, I was a big fan of Broadway show tunes in junior high and high school. And
did you get picked on a lot for that?
Yes, by the other people in the drama club.
No, he always getting the role.
Yeah, no, I got it from everybody. Listen,
sick.
Even in the drama, yeah. But
did you always know that you loved the stage?
I did, and it really got serious when I was in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And I think it was the 11th grade. And I played Bud Frump, which is the bad guy, And people were laughing, and I'm singing, and they're going, and people say, you know, that you've got something. You really should try to pursue this. And so that's what got me into musical performance. And then I happened upon Al Jolson. And all these entertainers back in the day, Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Judy Garland, they all started by singing Jolson tunes. But I discovered it on a $3.99 audio cassette from the car wash up at Dallas Purdy's. Because somebody told me they thought I should sing Jerry Lewis songs. I said, I wasn't aware Jerry Lewis had songs. What did he sing? He sang Rockabye Your Baby with a Dixie Melody. I said, well, wasn't that an Al Jolson song? They said, yeah, but that would be a good song for you to sing. So I heard this tape, and I fell in love with the voice of Jolson, and I thought, this is great. So, of course, I wanted to be Al Jolson, and that was just a catalyst. So then
you didn't do the whole black thing.
No.
You know, people used to, I mean, growing up, in this country, and with all of the racial mores and what have you, people would get all upset. Now, black people didn't get upset about Al Jolson being in blackface.
No,
and
black people were getting in blackface in his time.
Okay, we would, he want to look like us, fine, like yourself up. Matter of fact, we wasn't even that black. We were just brown and purple, but he came out with the do the thing. And I remember asking my great-grandmother about it, and she was like, that doesn't, see, we're not like that. We weren't like, we didn't, these people, we have to separate them. He was Al Jolson. He just sang. It was like Frank Sinatra. He sang. You listen to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. You listen to Ella Fitzgerald. You listen to Miles Davis. Music in our house was music. Period. We listened to Gershwin. We listened to Rodgers and Hammerstein. Like, we the only black kids in the project. Well, we was colored back then. We the only colored kids in the project. You listening to Show Tune and Nanny Get Your Gun coming to our house. My mother was strange like that.
No, that's good though, to expose children to such good music in the homes.
And when you look at it now, it's such a tapestry. That's why it's so exciting to know that you're keeping part of the genre alive, because we can't let it die. We can't let jazz die. We can't let our old tunes die.
Right.
Bach and Beethoven have been around for centuries. There's no reason why this music should not stand the test of time as well.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct.
And so you just jumped in here. So do people tell you you're an old soul, Richard?
Yes, I get that often. Maxwell's an old soul, too.
Yes, and Richard certainly looks like an old soul.
Oh, did you hear that?
Did you see the first dig?
Sings like an old soul, I
did.
meant to say.
You do sing like an old soul. I mean,
do.
you do sing like somebody like from the 20s and the 30s. So now, Maxwell, tell us about about the cicada club.
Like the bug, like the insect.
Cicada.
It's always wonderful to name a restaurant after an
a bug.
insect.
That's what I was saying.
We don't have critters in here. We just named it after a critter.
Well, what I try to do with the Cicada Club is to provide an environment that lets people think they're going back in time to the 1940s. And the nightclub is built inside the Oviatt building, which was the first Art Deco skyscraper in Los Angeles, built in 1928. Originally was a men's clothing store, Alexander and Oviatt's.
Wow, see, we're getting a history lesson here.
And it's filled with delightful Art Deco architecture and Lalique glass imported from France. And right now, we've trashed all that. No, we kicked
all that out. It's all gone.
We've preserved all that for the enjoyment of our
say.
guests.
Okay.
And once a week, we transform it into a 1940s-style nightclub with big bands, all types of entertainment, and people dress the part. They'll go dressed from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and they show up and dance and listen to the music.
Where are they getting the vintage wardrobe from is what I want to know. Because I believe I was born in the 40s before I came to this life. And honestly, I remember it very clearly. And that was my era. And I love the clothes from the 40s.
Yes.
When I was doing stand-up, I would always dress in the 1940s garb.
Well, most of the people get it from that exclusive French designer, Monsieur Ebay.
Monsieur Ebay. I know him.
Monsieur Ebay of the Target.
Well, not Le Target, but this is
Monsieur
Ebay.
But Monsieur Ebay, they get their clothes there, and there's a lot of the local vintage clothing stores. There's a lot of them around town, and they get them from there. And most of our guests do dress the part. They go anywhere from tails and white tie and tails and top hats to evening gowns.
They do it up.
They do it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not required, but it's suggested, and it's quite an experience going down to the Cicada Club. They're on 617 South Olive Avenue in downtown Los Angeles.
Olive Street. And so now you're having a performance there as well. Let's talk about that.
Yes, well, Richard Halpern's Hollywood Cavalcade is now in its 6th year.
What a show. What a night.
What a show. Ballyhoo. I've been there since February of 2008, courtesy of Maxwell Demille.
Yes.
And we're there just about every other month. And we get huge houses because we don't do the show every week. We just kind of space it out a little bit so people want to come.
Just spoon feed them, huh?
Right.
And let everybody else talk about, did you go down
Did you go on
at the cicadas? Oh, my God.
It's a kind of a unique night because it's the 20s and 30s. They do all sorts of different music, vintage music.
With a big
on the other
dance
shows.
orchestra,
Absolutely.
live music.
That's right. But on the 20s.
Wait a minute. Live music like they play real instruments?
Oh, yeah.
Real instruments,
Like
vintage
trombones and like
instruments.
Well,
clarinets?
we have in our band the
Piano.
Blues Serenaders. We got piano, bass, drums, banjo, guitar is one person. Then we have a horn.
And 30 people in the string section.
That's right. 36 people in the string section and 50 flute players.
But unfortunately, we
and
can't
a partridge
afford,
in a pear tree.
We can't afford them, so...
So we know them, but we can't afford them.
Right.
I can understand that.
Yeah, because on my night, it's the 20s and 30s exclusively. So if you want to go to see exclusive, like, the Charleston type music or the Depression era, Great Gatsby, Boardwalk Empire, you come to the Hollywood Cavalcade.
Step back in time.
Now you dress the part as well.
I do. I put on white tie and tails, and I just got, believe me, vintage clothes are great, but, even if you talk to the people on Boardwalk Empire, they can wear those clothes once and it disintegrates. And I've heard this from the people on Boardwalk Empire. They use vintage clothing, but they tear and fall apart. So you've got to get modern
stuff.
Yeah, but you got to get really good condition clothes, which you can get. Yes. I got a lot of vintage suits
and
that
Richard's
are still...
the exact opposite. He wears modern clothes and he disintegrates.
And I disintegrate. Exactly. I disintegrate.
You can tell you two don't get along at all.
No, we don't get along at all. No.
Now,
no.
how do the two of you get together?
Well, I met Richard in prison, actually.
He used to be known...
It's a good thing he's cute, because I haven't gotten a straight answer out of Maxwell since he walked in the door. And I do want to thank your publicist, Roger Neal.
Roger Neal just came in. Hey, Roger Neal.
Hey, Roger Neal.
How are you, Roger Neal?
He never says anything on the air. He barely says anything on the air. He comes in, he's dressed to the nines, always. This is his regular stuff. This is Roger schlepping.
Oh, and there, I just saw, did you see who just walked by?
Sheena Meadow.
Sheena Meadow just walked by, and I love Sheena Meadow.
Did you?
She should come in.
She's going to do her own show.
I've been on her show.
Have you been?
A long time ago, sure.
I feel very blessed to have you here with us today. Great. So now, when you told your family, you're out here in California, you go, Mom, Dad, or whoever you're talking to, I'm going into showbiz. What did they think?
Well, my mother was in show business way back in the day. I was born to very old parents. I won't even tell you how old I was. Yeah.
Are you an oops baby?
Yeah. I don't know if I was oops, but it was like, oh my God. Wow, are you serious? Yeah. That's the baby I was.
That's the oops baby. That's like, oops,
one more?
What did we do?
Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have a brother and a sister. My sister's 9 years older than me. My brother is 10 years olher than me.
Oh, so you're the baby.
I'm the baby, yeah.
So did they spoil you?
Somewhat, but they were rough too. Now I get to spoil them somewhat,
Oh, that's good.
And my father had passed away when I was quite young, and then my mother moved us out here to California when I was 11.
From New York.
From New York. And I really kind of just fell into the music. My mother was very supportive of everything I did. Like I said, she used to sing with Danny Thomas before he was Danny Thomas, when he was still Amos Jacobs in the beer gardens back in Detroit.
See, now folk don't even know.
Yeah, they don't even know who Danny Thomas is. Or Amos well, you know who it is. We know, but I mean, there's people that don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but he was a great entertainer and father of Marlo Thomas. They said, who's Marlo Thomas? That's that girl. Courtesy of Me TV, you can see that girl. Rainbows, diamonds, that girl. Yeah. With her boyfriend, Donald Hollinger.
Don't get him started.
That's right.
Just did. Now, how do you decide what you're going to do in a set? And do you do the same set all the time?
No, we change up the set. We have a large repertoire of songs, but we often will add new things each time I play. And I just basically go through my piano book. My piano book has all the songs, and then there's part books for each of the instruments that I have. So I'll go through the piano book and just flip through it and go, I want to sing. Oh, yeah, I want to sing that one. Or people will request songs.
Oh, so you'll take requests from the audience?
No, well, we get requests, like at the last show, our friend Carrie Bible said, I love when you sing Hollywood Rose. Actually, she said that at the Footlight Parade show we did.
Yes. Well, Richard gets requests, and I encourage him to stay on the stage anyway. So.
Oh, boy. Chocolate cream pie right in the face.
Right in the face. Okay, back to my question, Maxwell.
Yes.
Okay, how did the two of you meet after you got out of prison? That's what he said. We met in prison.
No, Maxwell is a director and an editor. And didn't we meet through Dean Mora?
I believe we met through Dean Mora because I was producing a show at the Orpheum Theater in downtown Los Angeles, and we had a tremendously large stage show. And Dean Mora suggested that I hire Richard Halpern as one of the featured singers. And we brought him on stage, and he sang. And I think that show was back in 1999.
I think so.
And it was the Broadway Cavalcade. And we had Dean Mora's full big band there, and Richard Halpern, and we had Chester Whitmore and Leonard Reed. Leonard Reed was there. He was the original master of ceremonies at the Orpheum Theater in the 1940s. He was Joe Lewis's manager. Also, he at the time
Joe Louis the boxer?
Joe Louis the boxer, and also at the time he was the last surviving producer of the Cotton Club.
Whoa.
And he invented this dance called the Shim Sham Shimmy. That
I
all
remember the
kids are
Shim
doing.
Sham Shimmy.
We'll show you
He was
how
the inventor.
we can get up and do it.
We had him on stage. He was 96 at the time.
And
he
doing
got up
still
there.
doing the shimmies.
He led the whole team doing the Shim Sham on stage at the Orpheum, and that's how I met Richard.
You know
Right,
what?
that's true.
You know that's you just brought me back to something. Nowadays, I don't know if the kids have names for dances anymore. I mean, we have the
twerk, and the Harlem Shuffle, and the twerk.
and twerk and people.
I don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about twerking?
No, I know that we do the Lindy Hop, we do the
Charleston.
Balboa, we do the Shag,
We do.
Come up
And
to the 21st
Black
century.
Bottom.
and we do Foxtrot, and we also have some Latin nights where we do mambos and tangos.
A lot of these young people have no idea what the heck we're talking
Yeah,
about.
but-
who is your audience?
But a lot of the young people do.
They do?
Because some of the people that come in, they are these young kids.
Mm-hmm.
They know these dances, and they're in college. We had a group last time. They were from UCLA. They were in there's like a swing group. At their college, they came in to this show to dance because this is a place they could get dressed up to the nines and could get out there and
Remember
dance.
that? We got dressed up to go out.
Well, you still can at this place.
I mean, we do. I mean, we still do. But some of them, I mean, when we go to some of these rare carpet events, I'm like,
No.
Did you not get the memo? Did you just roll off the bed, baby? Why do you? And, you know, a man with flip flops on worry me. I mean, you know, a man shouldn't have
agree.
a shoe between his toes.
And I'll take them off right now.
Oh, you'll take this. See, I'm very observant. I was just saying.
He wears the flip flops with socks too.
You know, and that is so bad. That is just that and the house shoes with socks. You know, I bless his heart. I miss him terribly, but I could have slapped Michael Jackson for showing up in court in pajamas. Now they so lazy. Well, I'm just not going to even put my clothes on. I'm just going to show up in my pajamas.
Well, Orson Welles showed up in his pajamas all the time.
Yes.
Hugh Hefner shows up in his pajamas all the time.
Does he ever wear clothes?
I don't know.
Hugh Hefner and
Actually, Hugh Hefner was the sponsor of our show we did 3 weeks ago with Richard at the
He's still alive,
Orpheum.
right?
Richard is still alive.
Yeah,
as
I'm
far
still
as I can
alive.
tell, yes.
Oh, Hugh Hefner's still alive too. Yes. Now he's a very strong advocate of the vintage music,
Yes.
and he sponsored the show we did at the Orpheum Theater as part of the Last Remaining Seats
Film Festival.
a film festival where we showed Footlight Parade from 1933, and there was a pre-show. It was the Broadway Rhythm.
The Lullaby of
Lullaby of Broadway.
Yeah.
That was
With Dean Moore and his orchestra, Richard Halpern, and a whole bevy of guest performers live on stage. We had tap dancers, singers, and Richard Halpern.
And me.
And-
I just stood there.
No, Richard was as the
yeah, right. Oh, yeah. I hear that. You just stood there. Yeah, right.
just stood there,
You look
yeah.
like the
That
kind
was a
of
great
guy
show.
just see a microphone and just gravitate to it. like a
2,000
man.
people showed up to see that show.
But see, that's wonderful, and that's why it's wonderful that you guys are keeping this genre alive. We have to take a break, and when we come back, I want to ask you about the show, how people can get the tickets, why they should come and see you, how they can get your music, and I want to know how you transform your entire self into Austin Powers.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, we
Austin,
went there.
baby.
Shocking.
Oh, baby. And we'll be back after this. In studio with me is Richard Halpern, Mr. Maxwell Demille, and also Mr. Roger Neal from Neal PR. I know he never says to say anything, but it's always good when you got a hunk of yumptious Roger. We'll be back after this.
Allstate would like you to meet Mike and Jamie Erickson.
Yeah, when I retire
One time I don't
18,
show up
20
with the
years
tie,
from
the
now,
client's got a tie on.
I'm going to have kids in college.
Always in a
It's
tie.
scary
I'm always in a
because
tie.
the question is, have we saved enough to be able to afford a comfortable retirement
Yeah,
and see the
and
kids
where
through
these
college
these
and
guys
also
think are
through,
clients.
you know, their later years in
These are
life.
from the
Mike's going to be
50s.
51 next year.
So
Jamie will be
beyond
44,
the 22. This is
and their
Steve
youngest
Martin
will be
and
4.
Jerry Lewis.
The reality is that we've got a lot of money that we're going to have to pay out over the rest of our lives, but it's the long-term retirement for Jamie and I that I worry about. I think we're going to be able to have enough money to raise our kids, but beyond that is a concern.
For Mike and Jamie, and thousands with stories like theirs, there's Allstate Retirement. It's free one-on-one help planning for the third half of your life. Whatever you have, wherever you are, Allstate can work with that.
Start the conversation today with Altadena, California Allstate agent Wilbert Smith Insurance Services. Call 626-791-7636. Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
Attention parents and grandparents, help your children be successful in mathematics. Help guarantee your child's success in math by playing Math Maze, a new card game that helps make a positive change in how your child views their ability to learn and use math. Order yours today. Call 310-697-3177 or go to mathmaze.us. Do it now, mathmaze.us.
Be big fun for you and everyone. Play it each and every day. Master math the easy way.
Lifestyles. I'm Bobby Owens. Type 2 diabetes is more likely to affect minority populations, including African Americans and Latinos. Mother Love, TV personality and author, has type 2 diabetes and knows firsthand how to deal with it.
To manage diabetes successfully, you must keep a positive attitude and build a strong support team. Make sure you monitor your blood glucose levels often, exercise daily, eat well, and stay informed.
Mother Love says a healthy and balanced diet is very important.
You don't have to skip out on the barbecues, but you do need to watch what you eat. Choose healthy and fresh foods like seasonal fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and always practice portion control. For snacks, try Glucerna nutrition products. The great-tasting shakes, snack bars, and cereals are formulated to minimize blood sugar spikes when used as a part of a diabetes management plan.
Use Glucerna products under medical supervision. For more information, visit Glucerna.com. That's lifestyles from the makers of Glucerna. I'm Bobby Owens.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to The Mother Love Show, right here on LA Talk Radio.
And we are back in studio. With me is Mr. Maxwell Demille. He is the provocateur. Can I call you that?
Impresario.
Impresario of the Cicada Club. It's at the historic Oviatt building in Los Angeles, Art Deco treasure on Olive Street. They revived the 20s and the 30s music with the wonderful, spectacular Mr. Richard Halpern, Mr. Tin Pan Alley himself.
Hello.
Bringing love and laughter and joy to audiences of all ages to the club. Now, tell us when your next show is coming up.
It's going to be Sunday, August 17th. Mm-hmm. And you can get your tickets right now. All you have to do is go to www.cicadaclub.com.
Now, you do take this show on the road.
I got to spell that first.
Yeah, because C-I.
Yeah, CICADACLUB.com. That's cicadaclub.com.
So now, you've been down, this is your 6th year. What keeps you coming back?
Well, because I love, oh, sure, yes.
Maxwell going money.
Money.
The fabulous salary that I pay him. Well over $30 a week.
$30 a week.
Oh, you got a raise.
Yeah, I got a raise. What are you talking about?
You didn't even know. Look, I just got you a $25 raise. He told me, look, we're getting $5 and some lunch money.
That's right, and Subway fare. No. Make you choke on your water. Sorry.
He won't even send a car for you. You got to.
I know. I got to hitch a ride.
I'll come get you.
I held a sign up on the off ramp in my tuxedo, in my white tie and tails, and say, "Well,
Cicada Club.
Yeah, get me to the Cicada Club right
now." And I'll sing for you. I'll sing for my food. So what is because you say the young people come down and they got swing clubs and what have you. Why would anybody want to come and see the music from this era?
Because no one else is doing it like we're doing it out this way. New York, it's a little bit more prevalent, but even there, you have to really go to the certain different clubs to really find it. This is a specific 1920s, 1930s niche. There's other clubs that do this type of music, but this is the pinnacle.
Please tell me they don't do the disco era.
No, and if you've ever seen a motion picture from the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, and you wondered what it was like back then, just walk through the doors of the Cicada Club and you are transported back in time. And no one else can do that because no one else has the original 1928 building with the authentic performers, including Mr. Richard Halpern.
An authentic performer.
I'm an authentic performer.
It's the real deal, folks.
I lived in the 20s. I'm a vampire. I'm actually born in 1902, and I'm 114 years old. That's right. So I stay young.
I met your grandmother, so I was there with you when you
was that you? Oh, my God.
That was me, the chocolate one in the back. That was me. See, back then we were chocolate. They wanted to just lick me.
Oh my goodness.
Shut up, Mother Love.
Mother Love.
Okay,
Boy, this show is going right, crash into hell in a wheelbarrow.
Where's the Hayes office when we need them?
Right there, right. And obviously, it only takes a window because you guys just dragged me right through it, and I went right with you. So now, when you're there, do you transform yourself into this 1920s, 1930s singer? I mean, where does your heart go? Where does your spirit go?
Well, my spirit is in it already. I love this music, and because of that, that's how come I feel it's so authentic. I kind of look like Al Jolson without the black face on. People say, you look a little bit like Al Jolson. People ask me, did you cut your hair on purpose style your hair to look like Al Jolson? I said, no, it fell out all on its own.
Like you did. So you was not trying to help your hair fall out.
No, but I could have lived in those times because, as I said, my father was quite elderly. My mother was. I could have been around genetically in that era. So that's probably why I sound like I do, and I look like I do, and I put on a nice tuxedo. Maxwell's been a wardrobe consultant from the very beginning. He says, this is how you're supposed to put your handkerchief to make
pocket
the points
square.
On your pocket square.
Yes.
And my tie and the collar, do I wear the bow tie behind the wingtip or in front of the wingtip? And
isn't it in front of the wingtip?
Well, it depends on the era. Maxwell tells us about the 20s and 30s difference.
Yes, well, the prevalent style in the 19-teens and the 20s was to wear the tie underneath the collar because back then, from the Edwardian era, the collars were very big and large, and they would go up and sort of bend over in the front.
Right.
So it was very natural. Then in the 1930s, they went with different types of collars, and it was more comfortable to put the tie in front of the collar. So you can actually do it either way. It doesn't really matter. But I think if you want to be more period correct, for the 20s and teens, you want to do it underneath the collar. From that point on, either is optional.
Okay, and I love your head.
Well, thank you.
And that's
covers my entire head.
Which is a pretty big head.
So I've been told.
And you want to talk about me. Okay. And there we have it. We have now just gone to the gutter, which is a fun place to be. I'm just saying. So you mentioned Al Jolson. Is he one of your favorites? And who are some of your other favorites?
Oh, I love Eddie Cantor. I love Helen Morgan. Who was the greatest she was the first torch singer. She was the greatest torch singer. She saved Showboat because that show went on the road, and she was the only person from the original Broadway cast who went with the show when it toured. She saved that show. She went with it and stuff. Fanny Bryce. I love Fanny Bryce. Harry Richmond. Sophie Tucker. Yep. Ruth Edding, Ted Lewis. There's people listening right now. I'm going to look up all these people on Google right now.
I've never heard of any one of them.
That's right. But then there's people that have heard of it. And they say, I thought I was the only one that liked Helen Morgan.
That's good because we have to keep it. That's what I'm saying. We have to keep this going.
We do.
It should not die. So what are some of the unexpected things that have happened during the show?
Unexpected things. Well,
it all goes by clockwork. Nothing unexpected ever happens.
Yeah, nothing unexpected ever happens in the show. Just feedback sometimes comes on, and we'll go.
We have special guests. We have special guests that show up unexpectedly.
Yeah, we get that too. We had
Robert Morse was there one time.
Yes,
he showed up.
Do they want to get up on stage and sing with you?
No, but. You know who came? This is interesting. Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy were at a private party upstairs, the Vanity Fair private party, which they were happening on the same night as our show. And they didn't want to stay up there. They wanted to come down with us. So they came down. And they're swing dancing around and stuff. And they came on. I said, "Come up. It's all right. Come on up on stage." And they did, and they spoke about why they were there and everything. And William H. Macy said he was going to be having a birthday the next year, and he really wanted to learn to do swing dancing before then. So they showed up. So that was pretty unexpected.
We've had Alice Cooper came there with his daughter's 18th birthday. That was unexpected. He just showed up.
Alice Cooper, a rocker coming in. So
hey, Marilyn Manson loves Jolson. He loves these rockers today. Look at some of the Rod Stewart, the Beatles. They loved Jolson. And you'd be surprised if you talk to some of these, especially the British
Isn't
ones.
Jolson on the cover of Sgt. Pepper?
Is he?
He's one of the characters.
I think so.
Well, there you go.
Lonely Hearts Band.
Yes.
By the Beatles, I think so.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Yeah. Hope you're going to enjoy the show. Yeah.
What a fantastic impersonation.
So now you also, not only do you get this great show, this Broadway style show from the 20s and the 30s, this is also a supper club.
It is indeed.
What kind of fare do you serve?
Oh, food is delicious.
It's delicious. It's a 5-star restaurant. We have actually what we have is a special deal where you get dinner and admission for one low price.
And they serve you 5 stars.
Exactly.
That's all you get, 5 stars and some syrup.
No. What do we have on that? We have appetizers.
If they go to that electronic information page you mentioned earlier, they can find out what the menu is. But it's food, and you don't have to have dinner. You can just come in and dance. It's fine, or go to the bar and get intoxicated.
Say either way, you're going to have fun. Yeah, so make sure you eat dinner so you have something for that liquor to land on. And I love what's on the menu. Oh, my God. You have the Ciro's Hearts of Romaine and endive salad, the Sid Caesar salad, a Mr. Tin Pan Alley almond-crusted Atlantic salmon.
That's mine. I can do that. I used to be ravioli, but I asked for something with no carbs.
So we get... Shut up, mother love.
You can dine on Mr. Tin Pan Alley. That's right,
you can
folks.
Come and eat meat with Mr. Tin Pan.
You can come and dine on Mr. Tin Pan
Now,
Alley.
hey, you can have salmon with no carbs. And we have Maxwell's New York cut steak, Clara Bowl sauteed chicken breast, Valentino's vegetarian spaghetti, Broadway berry martini, and a Bunker Hill blueberry cheesecake.
And that's just a sample.
And you notice what's in common. A lot of things are named after landmarks of downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
We like to preserve the history of Los Angeles at the Cicada Club.
Yeah, and that's really good because there are a lot of people that live in Los Angeles that are from here that don't know the history of Los Angeles.
Born and raised, myself.
Right.
You don't know the history of Olivera Street. Don't know the history of MacArthur Park. You know, don't understand about the La Brea tar pits or the Watts. I'm like, you live here.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and it's such a treasure. It's just so many little pockets around.
We're paying a tribute to the lost nightclubs of Los Angeles on October 31st.
That's something. Tell us about that.
Well, Dean Moore and his orchestra were doing our Halloween party, our vintage Halloween party, and it's a tribute to all the long lost nightclubs like Ciro's, Trocadero, Macombo's, so people can dress up as if they were going to those clubs. They dress up as if they were going to those long lost nightclubs.
So I heard about the Trocadero. Do we have really good clubs besides the Cicada Club?
Not like that. No way, man.
The last one was probably the Derby, and that's long gone now. That was in Los Feliz.
And now it's a Chase Bank. I was just over there.
They just went out. It's a bank.
But they still have the roof. They still look up the ceiling.
So I've cleverly eliminated all of my competition.
Is that what you did? And we got rid of all of them, and every time
only the Cicada Club is left. Thank you.
That's right.
So you got something you want to say? Okay, Roger Neal has. He speaketh.
I never talk, but I want to just say them about the Richard show and the Cicada Club and what Maxwell does down there. It's an amazing thing. And before I knew Richard years ago when I handled Rick Dees, and my wife was looking for somewhere to take me. She knows I'm a classic guy. I'm into swing. I'm into all that, and she found them online. We went down there, and I said, "Oh my God, it's Richard Howe." He goes, "Oh my God, Roger Neal." But I was so blown away by the show and the food, the dinner, and it's like if you've ever, I walked in, and from the moment I stepped out of the car until I got even outside, just when I'm walking in, I feel like I was already transported back in time. But when I got inside, and you see Maxwell walking around in his full regalia, it's like I'm back in the 20s and 30s, and you see the people, and it's just like it's an amazing, like you just really know what it's like being in Hollywood.
I wish people could see the look on your face as you're describing this.
I'm telling you, it's like walking back in time. And if you ever want to know what was classic Hollywood like, classic LA, just go down there one time and just walk in. And you're there. You don't have to wonder about it anymore. You're there. You've transported back in time. Then when Richard and they come out and they serve the food, and then when Richard,
it's not a buffet kind of thing.
No, not a buffet. No, it's
like white glove service.
Oh wow!
And we even have tablecloths on the table.
Oh, yeah.
So that means you might have silverware and plates that actually make noise that are not paper.
But when Maxwell comes up and starts his introduction, it's like, oh man. Then when
Is that
Richard,
oh man in a good sense?
very good.
Yes.
Oh man.
But then when Richard
You are
hits
just a mess. I love this guy.
but when Richard hits the stage and he starts performing, and then he brings up the special guest that he has, I've never experienced anything like it. And after going to it twice, I said, I've got to work with these guys. I mean, it was just that amazing. Everybody in Los Angeles should go there at least one time because you will definitely never be sorry. It's an amazing experience, and what Richard does is just takes you back to a place in Hollywood and LA that we could never have been there because we were born in the wrong era. But if you ever wonder what it was like, man, when you walk in, you're there. I mean, you're just like zapped. It's a time machine, and you're zapped back.
That's how it is when you go to the Cotton Club. You know?
Oh, yeah.
They're all dressed to the nines, and I dressed pretty decent, you know, and I felt, I am underdressed. I needed a fur or a boa. You know? That's what I needed. And this is, the Cicada Club is like that. You want to come dressed. You want to get into the mood of it.
That's it. It's Sunday, August 17th is when you should come on down.
What time does the show start?
8:30. The doors open at 6.
Okay.
The show begins at 8:30.
So come in and get your dinner.
Right. We have an 8:30 set, and then we have like a 10 o'clock set.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That'll be me to 8:30 one. 10 o'clock, I'm asleep.
No, you'll want to stay for this. I mean, because it's not the same set twice. It's a whole new.
Sets.
It's
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 separate sets.
And they're 2-hour shows?
2 1-hour shows different performers in the shows, different songs. Everything's different, fresh, new, exciting.
So now, who are some of the other people, some of the other acts in the show?
Well, we've just confirmed the Rhythm Boys, who are a tribute to a group in the 30s known as the Rhythm Boys.
They played at the Coconut Grove.
That's right.
With Bing Crosby.
And Gus Arnheim. So it was Harry Barris, Bing Crosby, and I forgot the third Rhythm Boy. Okay. But
wait a minute, Maxwell went.
No, but we have 3 guys. Our friend Dutch Newman, Carrie Farnsworth, and Douglas Rogiers. They do this 3-part male harmony. They too are dressed in the 1930s, and they have the special microphone, a stand microphone that's round and has the circle in the middle and the wire.
Like from the old school.
Yeah, it's a new place that sells them. I'm going to get one myself and have it
Attention
around.
to every detail.
Yes.
And we also have, to complement them, the Saguaro sisters, which are these 3 lovely ladies that are in the style of the Boswell sisters from the 1930s. So that's part
and
of our...
they're still belting it out, huh?
They are.
Yeah, these are little girls. These are teenagers. These girls.
We don't ask their ages, but they look young.
But they
I mean, are they legal? I mean,
no,
we're not
they're
gonna
legal.
Be aiding and abetting to the delinquency of minors.
Well, hey, listen.
Okay, look, I can see. I cannot go to prison. My features are too delicate for prison. I can't do that, and that'd be just my luck. We was with Mother Love, and how these 17 and 16, but y'all told me they was grown. They look grown. They be like, you and them little kids, everybody off. Maxwell, Richard, everybody off.
We're gonna get popped.
We gonna get popped. You got to tell me about the transformation that you totally make to turn yourself into Austin Powers.
Okay, that's a whole other show.
But actually,
I had to look at you like really, 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 really hard.
We've had Austin Powers at the Cicada Club.
Yes.
We did a swinging 60s night.
I showed up as Austin Powers.
Hey, listen. And his orchestra. We did a 60s band, and who was there? Mr. Austin Powers.
Oh, my
Yes,
goodness.
the reasonable facsimile.
Singing The Look of Love.
I sang a few songs. But you see, I worked with Peter Newman of Herman's Hermits one time, and we had done a sound check with his guys. This is in Las Vegas. And I saw, he wasn't there, but some of the musicians were there. So then later, I see them all sitting at the restaurant, and they said, Peter, this is Richard Halpern. He is Austin Powers. And Peter Newman says, you don't look a thing like Austin Powers. And I said, you just wait, man. And that night, it was like, oh, behave. Yeah. And I was Austin Powers. And he said, oh, that's right, you are Austin Powers.
I mean, completely. You got the voice, the growl. What is your fascination with Austin Powers? And why him?
Well,
of all the over-the-top characters.
Well, I'm an over-the-top character to begin with. Yeah. Well, Roger Neal mentioned Rick Dees. Okay, I spent 20 years on the radio with Rick Dees as a voice calling in as different celebrities and doing jokes. That's how I do Roger Neal with his flowing red hair. And then I saw him again. I said, he says, I'm Roger Neal. I said, Roger Neal, the publicist? I knew you for Rick Dees. So we knew each other back in the day. So I was doing all these impressions of all these different people, current stars and all this, making jokes. So that movie comes out in the late 90s, and I started just doing the voice on that. And then by Halloween, I was doing it at Halloween.
Full blown.
Yeah, but then by the time the second movie came out in 1999, the radio station really was promoting me and had me at one of their, what used to be, it was Kissin' Unite, Wango Tango. It started out as the Endless Summer Jam back in 1987 and Cabrillo Beach in San Pedro. And it turned into what it is now, which is the iHeart Radio Music Fest. I was at the first one on this little beach out in San Pedro, and it's turned into
history maker.
Yeah, well, then in 1999, they had Nancy Sinatra. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, had just opened the night before. And I came out as Austin, and everybody's cheering. They thought it was really him. I didn't say I am Austin Powers. I never say that. But it was reported on the KTLA Morning News. And Mike Myers showed up as Austin Powers. And luckily, I know people on that station, so I called and I said, that wasn't Mike Myers, that was me. So I got to be on the weather. Doing the Shagadelic Weather Report, baby.
Downhill from there. Yeah.
Downhill from there. So then I just I started using better costume pieces and
How
everything.
do you keep him fresh when there hasn't been a movie out for it?
Because that character has become part of the pop culture. So it kind of works itself. And the way I do it, I'm about the closest there is out there.
I mean, you have to look really, 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 really hard. And I kept looking, and I kept clicking back and forth, and I kept going, now, is that Mike Myers?
No.
But you guys you have this Austin Powers character down to, I wanted to play the Beyonce character. But wasn't big enough. It's like, oh, no, and it don't sit up like that anymore. They're like, no, mother, you can't, no. You might have been bootylicious at one time, but now you just licious. It's just not working. I've even offered to do nude movies, but they couldn't tell if I was naked. So I was going to pose for Playboy, and he was like, I can't see it, mother. I can't see it. I don't know what happened.
I don't get any of this conversation.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're back in the 1920s. What's Austin Powers?
And you know what? That's really something, because remember how genteel and ladylike women were until they got back in the bedroom, and they just turned into complete tramps.
Well, that's been the same way since day one, since Eve. You know, nothing's changed there.
That's what my good friend Clara Bow used to tell me.
She said that. Yes, Clara Bow.
What did Clara Bow tell you, Maxwell?
Yes, well, about getting into the bedroom and something like that.
Yeah, Clara Bow was quite the.
It's been a while.
The wild
kind of scandal.
The wild chick. Let's put it that way.
Now we got a lot of wild chicks, and remember back then they protected the talent.
They did, not like today.
She ain't got no panties on. Okay, get a picture. Can we Instagram it? Get a
lot
selfie.
of them had no panties. Jean Harlow
never wore
She
underwear.
didn't wear her. She put lipstick on on places we can't say. And
Cincinnati.
On Cincinnati, she put lipstick on Cincinnati. We can't say Cincinnati.
The Twin Cities.
That's right. The Twin City Bank. The only two suckers I trust.
Oh my! But that's from day one. But even Ethel Waters was wild. She was a wild chick too.
I believe Ethel Waters was wild.
Yeah, she was pretty wild. But they covered it. If you were in the business, in the know, you knew all these things. But you didn't go to the newspaper, and the studios hushed everything up. Now it's everybody's fair game, from the president on down.
And they just make up stories if they can't find
That's
out what
right,
you're
and
doing.
make it up.
They'll make up stuff.
I do. I enjoy making up stories.
You do. Was that you?
Is that you? So he's the one fueling TMZ for you, Richard.
Oh yes, it all goes back to Maxwell.
Wait a minute. Can you get any press? Can you get press in this town?
Yeah, you can get good press in this town. Roger Neal.
I mean, good press. You know, because it's like I can't kill nothing, won't nothing die. They won't write anything about me. Then I'm like, you don't do nothing. You still got the same husband. You got the same husband. Yeah, I didn't know you're supposed to switch him off like that. They didn't tell me. I didn't get the Hollywood handbook. I just didn't get the handbook.
We should write one. Let's write one together.
I don't know what to write anymore.
Well, that's the handbook. If you open it up, there's nothing in it.
Put your drawers on. You know, just
put your drawers on.
And keep your Johnson to yourself. Don't be messing around with somebody else. You know,
I remember Lyndon Johnson. He was a very good president.
I remember Andrew Johnson. He couldn't keep himself to himself either.
And see, that's what's wrong now. There doesn't seem to be a line in the sand for morality anymore.
Right.
That's why I think being transported back to the 20s and the 30s, even though I wouldn't, my era would have been the 40s and the 50s.
That's fine.
I'd have been right in there.
We do that too.
Oh, you do? So you don't just...
We do 1920s to 1960s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can have a 1950s theme, and I can wear a poodle skirt.
Sometimes, yeah, on other nights, yeah, like that.
And bobby socks and high heel shoes.
We had a band a few weeks back, Little Mo and the Dynaflows, a doo-wop band. So we'll do that.
Now, how do you decide who's going to be the talent at the Cicada
I
Club?
carefully screen the talent.
He does.
And
keep us in a dungeon for a week.
Only the finest entertainment appear on the stage of the Cicada Club.
After you let them out of the of the basement.
Yes, we got
to. So I make sure we just have the top-notch people, the pros, and we don't want to disappoint our audience. So we make sure the finest performers are there, and I let Richard in anyway. Now, Richard's been one of the longest-running shows at the Cicada Club, and for a reason.
Now, do you travel around with this?
We do. We actually do. I've done private parties, private events. In Palm Springs, in Santa Barbara, all over the
weddings,
place.
funerals,
supermarket
openings,
brisses, divorces.
You like me? We'll go to an opening of an envelope.
That's right.
That would be me.
But that's the thing. You see, this show, you can have it done privately. We can do, if you're listening right now, you're having an event coming up. We do a lot of private events, like Great Gatsby themed events, Boardwalk Empire themed events, Jazz Age, Prohibition, Depression era, stuff like that from the 30s.
I don't want to go to the Depression.
No, Depression, yeah, I know.
I don't want to stand in the soup line with a burlap sack on.
No, but the music is great.
1930s.
Yeah, the 1930s.
Optimistic music.
That's right.
It was optimistic music.
That's why the music was so good at that time.
We're just about out of time, but before we go, we're having so much fun here. Tell people how they can get tickets again, when the show is, and then I want you to, will you sing a little something for us?
I certainly will.
Okay.
So they can go to www.cicadaclub.com, which is CICADACLUB.com. The show is Sunday, August 17th, Richard Halpern's Hollywood Cavalcade.
Yes, but we do a show once a week. And yes, you were saying Richard Halpern's Hollywood Cavalcade.
That's right. So you want to make sure you click on there's a special banner on there.
There is a banner on the page. Click on that. It'll give you all the exciting information.
He said all the sorted and exciting information.
Assorted information.
Yes, assorted, not sorted. Assorted, yes.
Oh, yeah, right. Clean it up now, Maxwell. Yeah.
And we do a show at least once a week, and Richard's going to be there in August. He's our big show for August.
Yes, August 17th, Richard Halpern's Hollywood Cavalcade, 1920s, 1930s.
So get your outfits on.
Call now.
Get your dancing shoes, put your spats on, get your spectators, and let's rock and roll.
Have a swell time.
Have a swell. And remember, we didn't even curse back then.
Yes, they did, but you didn't hear about it.
But you didn't hear about it. Look, for a long time, I didn't know my grandmother cussed. Till I heard her one time cuss my uncle out. But she didn't really cuss him out. She just told him the best part of him ran down his daddy's leg. And I was like, I don't think that was a nice thing.
Marathon runner.
I just didn't think that was nice. I think she just ratted you out. Dude, that was bad. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit of what Richard Halpern is going to share with you on August the 17th.
All right. Oh, we're doing it live. I thought there was a recording. Okay.
Now you got to do it like right there, a cappella, no music, and I can't help you.
Oh, my goodness. Night and day, you are the one. Only you beneath the moon and under the sun. In the roaring traffic's boom. In the silence of my lonely room, I think of you day and night. Hollywood party. Get up, get out, get in it. Hollywood party. Hollywood cavalcade. Come on down, folks. It's good music. Come on back to the 20s and 30s. And I'll be there on Sunday, August 17th, Richard Halpern's Hollywood Cavalcade. Yes, sir. Acha.
I don't need to say anything else except thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to come and chat with us and share the excitement about the Cicada Club, the Hollywood Cavalcade, celebrating the music of the 20s and the 30s. Richard Halpern, Mr. Maxwell Demille, and it's always a pleasure to see you, Roger Neal. May the universe continue to open up and conspire for all of your great success. Thank you so much for joining me. And babies, you know I love each and every one of you, and there's not a ding-dang doggone thing that one of you can do about this mother loving you. Peace, babies.
Yeah! Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.